Good afternoon, everyone. This is Karl F. Rose recording live from Bedford, Pennsylvania on Monday, January 2nd, 2023. And I just want to discuss this coming up game. I'm not sure whether it's going to be on Saturday or Sunday. I don't know if that's been determined yet. But anyway, this is going to all the marbles are on the line, but for the Green Bay Packers, it's basically pretty simple. They win, they're in. But the Lions, if they win, not only will they knock Green Bay out, but if Seattle loses, then the Lions get into the number 7 seed in the playoffs. But if the Lions win and the Seahawks win, then the Seahawks are in. And it's the worst case scenario for me personally is if the Seahawks go in. I just want to see the Lions beat the Packers just to shut up Aaron Rodgers. He's an idiot, and I can't stand the guy. I can't stand the Packers at all. So it's going to be in Lambeau. And this is really important. This is not only for the playoffs, but for the Lions to be able to go into Lambeau and win the game in miserable playing conditions. They win, and I don't care how ugly the score is, but they come out and they win in those kind of conditions. That would be saying a lot. That would be an explanation point for the end of the year, even if Seattle wins their game, which they more than likely will because they're playing the Rams, unless some huge miracle happens and Seattle loses and the Lions win, then they're in the playoffs. I bet there's probably a lot of people right now that are hoping that just Seattle wins no matter what. And they're probably hoping Seattle wins and Green Bay wins, because that will put Green Bay, and I think they would rather face Green Bay than they would the Lions. But the Lions do have a promising future, and the thing is, what I'm getting at is what they need to do going into this game. They need to learn a lot of lessons from the loss at Carolina, and as horrible as that loss was, Coach Campbell actually said it quite well. He said that loss is probably something that they needed. They needed to. I mean, they were playing over their heads. I mean, they're going to be a good team, so there's a lot of lessons from that loss. And if they can come into the Green Bay, learning from what they did or didn't do against the Carolina Panthers, well, chances are they could possibly pull up the upset, because I believe Green Bay's favored by like 6 points or something like that, and that's understandable. The weather conditions in Lambeau. Lambeau's a really hard place to go into as a visiting team, not just the Lions, but any team. It's tough to beat them in Lambeau. It's they're going into a buzzsaw there, but they need to execute, do their job. I loved Jamal Williams, 144 yards yesterday. There's no way he's going to get that against Green Bay, but Green Bay needs to see a heavy dose of Jamal Williams. But if he's somewhere around the 100-yard, maybe a little bit under, maybe a little bit over, that's what they need. That's one of the things they need to do, because if they have a good ground game and they eat up a lot of clock and keep Aaron Rodgers sitting on the sideline, that's how they're going to beat Green Bay. They need to keep Aaron Rodgers sitting on the bench and just grind it out. eat up clock. That's the biggest thing. And then when they do, their defense has to play lights out like they did against the Bears. I know the Bears only have 3 wins, and personally, I think the Bears are like the Lions were last year. They're a better team than 3 wins. They really are. I thought the Bears would get more like about 8 or 9 wins this year. But so expect the Bears to be a lot better next year. But I'll let the Bears people talk about that. But it'll be interesting. I see a downward trend for both the Vikings and the Packers, and an upward trend with both the Bears and the Lions. So next year will be interesting. It really will be. And I know yesterday's loss. It's going to be the Chicago is they're going to remember yesterday's loss for a while. So I'm sure they're not too happy about it. But that's just the way things go. But if Detroit can take some things into going into Lambeau and just just execute. I mean, no sloppy plays, no unnecessary penalties and things like that. And the biggest thing is, like I said a minute ago, keeping Aaron Rodgers on the sideline while they just grind out the clock. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm not even going to say the score, but it's going to be like in the range of 20s to, like maybe 24 to 17 or something like that for either side. Either way, but I don't think either team is going to get 30 points. If it does, and that would just be a real blowout. So anyway, well, that's about it. I just wanted to get this podcast out, and let's just go Lions, and let's just shut down the Packers. Talk to you later. Have a good day.